Hey everybody, it's Margot of The Big SCO African, and this is vlog number 7. So I am determined to try and keep this a bit shorter this time. Try not to ramble as much. Not off to a good start. Anyway, so the first thing I want to say is I'm doing a lot better. I'm making progress through the journey of transition and culture shock, and that's actually a bit low. Jack, my videographer's son, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I make no apologies for my amateur video skills. This is just me chatting. So yes, I am doing a lot better than I was. I still have hard days. The culture shock comes and goes, and some days it can be brutal. I still do get homesick, but definitely improving. Some days it's interesting and I'm on an adventure, and then other days everything's stupid and dumb and they should do it how we do it in Australia. It's just part of the journey. But I've got some good training and some good info and some good things I've read about culture shock, and I'm doing my best to deal with it and get through it. I'm making this vlog now because I think it could be as soon as next week that we go to Liberia. I'm so excited for that. I've made some lovely friends here in Uganda and I will miss them. But I need to be home. You know, I can't settle here because this is not where we are permanently. I know that we're only here for this period of time, and I don't want to settle too much. I don't want to put down roots, but I need to put down some roots somewhere. And I think it makes my homesickness more difficult because I can't really be at home here, but I want to be at home somewhere. And so I just think about my old home and wish that I was there, and what I need is to be in Liberia. That's what it comes down to, and start really putting down some roots and start getting into the work that God has called me here to do. I'm so excited about that. So yeah, a few things about the last couple of months. I think I've probably mentioned in the past, the driving here is pretty chaotic and full on. If you've driven in one of these types of African countries or even some of the Asian countries, the amount of motorbikes on the road is insane. They swarm like flies, and you just have to focus at every single second, because they'll come on your left, on your right, you'll be turning left and they'll turn in your left beside you on the left. And anyway, it takes a lot of concentration, but I'm proud to say that I've done a lot of driving because I am determined to have my independence. But yeah, intersections are absolute chaos. But well, you know, there's kind of a method to it. Anyway, I did throw a bit of a tantrum at one point, and I'm kind of ashamed of myself, but also trying to not be too hard on myself, because one day I discovered we had worms coming out of our basin taps, and this is not acceptable. I don't like worms coming out of the taps. These little red worms, I googled it, turns out they're called bloodworms. A fly had laid larvae in our water tank, so we had to get the tank empty, but it took weeks to get rid of the bloodworms. I tried so hard to have a good attitude, but there was a time where I did throw a wee bit of a tantrum, but I will try harder next time. I've had a little bit of fear, but I'm really learning, and I feel as though I'm growing. I don't know, it probably wasn't on the news there, but there was an American tourist who was kidnapped recently here in Uganda from a game park just up the road. And she was actually returned safely, but it made me feel a bit afraid. And I got some scriptures and I put them on post-it notes up around the house, which is something I like to do, and that really helped. I also heard gunshots recently, which it turned out to be nothing. There was a crowd out the front, and the police were just firing into the air to disperse the crowd because they were upset about some person it was a protest. But that's, for me, unusual. I'm not used to hearing gunshots, even if they're just trying to disperse a crowd. And so there's all sorts of different things that I'm learning to adjust to in my new life. But I am getting there. The worms did go. I think I said that. It took a few weeks. My tummy is all better. Praise the Lord. This is good news because I had almost 12 weeks of diarrhea every day. Sorry about the too much information, but it was a big deal for me. It made me kind of miserable. Eventually, I found an antibiotic that seems to have cured it, and the Lord told me to eat bananas. That's a story for another day, but it's a really cool story. I will write myself a note and tell you about that story sometime because that really helped as well. What else? We went to the zoo. It was awesome. We did like a behind the scenes tour. So we had our guide take us around and we literally fed giraffes by hand, fed an elephant by hand. We went and actually touched rhinos and saw right up close. That was really cool. I did a trail run. It was only a 5K, but I really enjoy my running and running events. So that was in the forest just outside of Kampala. That was really cool to be able to be a part of that. And the other day I went to visit a lady just outside of Kampala who has a ministry with widows, and she has like a tailoring school, and that was really cool. And again, I haven't got time to go into all the details, but I'll probably put something on Facebook about it. So if you're on Facebook, you can have a look. Today I went in the flight simulator. First time ever in my life. I have been married to a pilot for 25 years. I've been in an aeroplane and kind of held the controls briefly as we're flying along, you know. But I got in the simulator. I did take off, all right, sort of, with Stephen helping. It turns out it's really quite hard to fly an aeroplane. I definitely 100% would have crashed it if Stephen wasn't beside me. He landed it for me because turns out it's really hard, really hard. So I take my hat off, new respect to my husband and all the pilots out there. So that was just a kind of a fun thing. Okay, I have to go. I have to stop talking. I just wanted to catch up with you and kind of round up our time in Uganda. It has been a pretty cool experience to be here, but we are so super keen to get to Liberia and start really sinking our teeth into the work that the Lord has for us. Oh, please do keep praying for us. Our shipping from Australia is still in Australia. It's been there for like 4 months, still sitting at the shippers. The authorities are being really awkward, like super, super awkward. So it hasn't even left yet. And it would be awfully nice if it could leave so that we could get it in Liberia. It's just going to be really nice to have all our own stuff back again. Some familiar belongings will be really nice. Okay, I got to go. So thank you for praying. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your encouragement. Love you all so much, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.